Well, it's often very important with a team to blend the professional and the personal. You want to get your work done. You also want the team to come together better as a team. So the idea of baking in some social time together, whether it's formal team building or something more informal like a dinner together on the evening that bridges the 2 days of an offsite, is not a bad idea. What I think you have to be careful about, though, is your time. I mean, I've been in the middle of some very, very heated strategy conversations, and all of a sudden the person who was doing meeting planning came in the room and said, okay, the buses are leaving for dinner in 15 minutes. We've got to cut the conversation short and get on the bus. And frankly, the boss kind of looked at the person and said, this conversation is much more important than that bus. But at the same time, commitments have been made, buses have been rented, room at a restaurant's been put aside. We were locked into a schedule. So I think social activities clearly have their place, but I think you need to determine how flexible do you want the timing of the group to be. If the conversation's over, if they're getting tired, do you want to be able to break early and go to dinner or go to cocktails a half hour, an hour earlier than planned? At the same time, if the conversation's really, really hot and heavy and you just want to keep going, do you have the opportunity to stretch into dinner? Do you have a long enough break plan that you can move into that time? You don't want to be handcuffed or hardwired by the social components of an offsite. So I think having them designed into the agenda is great, but make sure you've built enough flexibility that the social doesn't crowd into the professional, and have enough time set aside so you do have the appropriate amount of time to have the amount of team building you want. It's not just an afterthought, but it's built in as a specific module. I would separate social activity from team building activity. They're not the same. Social is more relaxing. Team building can be real work. But I think having a social component is first of all great fun. Second of all, is a nice part of an offsite. But be very, very careful you're not handcuffed into a hard and fast schedule that you come to regret.